आवाज स्टार्ट हुआ।
Hello student, good morning and welcome back in the digital class of learning. In continuation of the animal tissues, you will learn today connective tissues. Regarding that, already we have completed the epithelial connective tissue. So today is the turn of the connective tissue. What is the definition of a connective tissue? As the name connect, that is, it helps you joining or it is helpful to connecting the one structural part to the another structural part inside the body system, and each connective tissue is having characteristic feature and they are having the components like ground substance, that is called the matrix, and this matrix are differ from each connective tissue. There are total 6-7 number of connective tissues. I would like to name it: areolar connective tissues, tendon, ligament, adipose connective tissue, cartilage, bone and the blood. So these are the examples or these are the types of connective tissues which are present in the human body or other kinds of animals. The first thing is, what are the component of connective tissue? So these connective tissue is having these components part. Number one is ground substance, that is called the matrix, and the matrix is chemically having protein, sugar, it also having the salts of calcium and phosphate. Apart from that, they also having the plasma, and fibroblast is another component. These fibroblast is consisting of the fibers and they provide elasticity or flexibility to the tissue system. Next, adipocytes, macrophages and mast cells. What is the adipocytes? Adipocytes are the responsible for the fat forming cells. They are making the fat cells. Macrophages, they are the patrolling police of the body. They help out to the fighting against the germs which enter to your body system. Next, mast cells. Mast cells are present in our blood, even they are found in the areolar tissues, and these mast cells are giving a good response during the allergic reaction, even when you are suffering from or when you are injured with the injuries or the wound. So there these mast cells very active and they produces redness to the affected area or they causes inflammation. Inflammation is representing the increased number of mast cells, and what are that mast cells which secrete the chemicals? Their name is histamine, heparin and serotonin. So these are the three chemical substances which are produced by the mast cells. So connective tissues are consist of these several kind of components. So let us see the first animal tissue, first connective tissue, that is called the areolar connective tissue. Areolar connective tissues are present below the epidermal tissues. Suppose this is the skin, that skin is having the epidermal layer. When you remove this epithelial lining, then you find the whitish creamish color of the layer, and that layer is called the areolar connective tissue. And these areolar connective tissues are helping in the adhesion, that is joining, as well as healing and inflammation. If we are coming to the structure of the areolar connective tissues, you can see there these are the number of fibers that we call the collagen fibers. Collagen fibers are responsible for providing flexibility, and there is two kind of fiber, collagen fiber and elastin fiber. So these two are providing the strength and flexibility to the tissues. Apart from that, here you can see there is a macrophage. I told about the macrophage. Macrophages are helping to engulfing the foreign germs, bacteria, viruses or fungus which enter the body system. Now the mast cells are direct associated with the inflammation of the injured area or where is there healing or if there is a sprain. So it is responsible to develop the swelling and redness. So this is about the areolar connective tissue. Now the function of areolar connective tissue is that it has very two functions. Number one, it is helping to the joining of the epithelial tissues to the underlying surfaces, as well as it is helpful in the healing and inflammation. Now second number is tendon. Tendon is a connective tissue which is responsible to connect the muscles to the bone. It means if this is our radius and ulna, this is the bone, and this bone is joined with the muscles, that the tissue that called the tendon. So tendon is a cord-like tissues which is limited flexibility and it join the bones to the muscles, and these one is made up of a collagen fiber. You can see the collagen fiber and fibroblast cells. These fibroblast cells are the fiber forming cells. So number one, tendon is a connective tissue. It is a cord-like structure and it joins the muscles to the bone. Another third one is the ligament. So this ligament is also a cord-like structure, but the difference is that it provides high elasticity power to the muscles or the tissues. And if we see the example of this elbow, so this bone and that bone is joined with here, that is with the help of the ligament. So we can say that LB square, that is ligament is stand for bone to bone connection. It means this is a tissue which join one bone to the another bones. Next, adipose tissues. Adipose tissues are fat forming cells, and these adipose tissues are basically found in the stomach region or buttock region, thigh. So whatever the fatty tissues in your body system is having more number of adipose tissues, and the adipose connective tissue is formed by the adipocytes or the lipocytes. See the picture, this red circle is representing the adipocytes or the lipocytes, and they are responsible for the formation of the fats. What they forming? They are forming the fat cells, and the fat cells is responsible during the starvation as a source of food. When we are under starvation, or when we are under the fasting, or when you are going to sick or under the sickness, so these fat tissue burn and provide you energy. So most of the fatty people is having the more number of adipose tissue in their body system. Now function of adipose tissue, it provides cushion to the body system when sometime you fallen down, when you are running and again fall down there. So first jerk is bear by the adipose tissue, and these adipose tissues is also work as an insulator. Why it is work as insulator? Because our this body or tissue is having the coating of this adipose tissue, so it directly does not involve the outer condition, environmental condition to the internal condition of the body system. So it provides insulation to the body system. Now next number of the connective tissue is the cartilage. Cartilage is a connective tissue which matrix is consists of protein and sugar. If you see the picture of this red dots are, this is called the matrix or ground substance, and these ground substance of the matrix provide the place to sit over this cells, that is the cartilage forming cells. So cartilage forming cells is called chondroblast, and these chondroblasts are floated over the surface of the matrix. Matrix of cartilage is consist of protein and it is rich with the sugar, and that is known as chondrine. Chondrine is a tissues, matrix tissue or ground tissue substance of a cartilage. Cartilage is what? It is a connective tissue, and these cartilage is provide flexibility. If you touch your ear, that is flexible. So that flexibility is because of the cartilage tissue. Second number example is cartilage is your nose septum. This nose septum is made up of the cartilage. This is the windpipe, the trachea. Trachea is also consisting of the cartilage. So cartilage is found in our ear, nose, respiratory trachea. So these are some examples of the cartilage. Now what is the difference between cartilage and bone? First difference, this cartilage is flexible, but the bone is not flexible. Bone is porous, but cartilage is non-porous. The ground substance of cartilage is having chondrine and they are rich with the protein and sugar. But on the other hand, these bones are rigid, non-flexible, solid, and their matrix is called osine. Osine is a ground substance of the bones, and that bone is having calcium phosphate, calcium carbonate and the magnesium phosphate. These are the chemical which provide solidification to the bones. Why the bones are very rigid? Because of the presence of the calcium carbonate and magnesium phosphate. That is the salts of the calcium and magnesium. Apart from that, next difference is that their cells are bone forming cells are called osteocytes or osteoblasts. The cartilage forming cells are known as chondroblasts. So these are the some differences among the cartilage and bone. Now come to the bone. Bone is the connective tissues which provide the framework to the entire body, and these bones are having several joints. They are joined with the tendon or ligament, etc. And bone is chemically having calcium carbonate, magnesium phosphate, and they are having the matrix. That matrix is called a osine. What is the osine? Osine is the ground tissues or matrix of the bone, and this bone is having the transverse structure. And if you go through the structure of the bone, you will find a number of circles. These circles are known as Haversian canal. So in that center you find that this red dot is the Haversian canal. This is the Haversian canal, and it has rings. That rings are known as concentric rings or lacunae. And this portion that is called the matrix, and matrix of the bone is solidified because of the presence of the calcium phosphate, carbonate and magnesium phosphate. So that's why the bone are very solid. Now the third one is, the last one is bones. Last connective tissue is called blood.